What is up guys, it's your boy Gunsoww and welcome back to another beat breakdown. Today I'm gonna do it with the help of a friend, and of course I'm talking about Kerby, which means we're gonna be breaking down Barbed Wire. So without any further ado, let's just jump into it. So this is how the track started. As you can see, there are no melodies, minus the 808, and yeah, that's about it. I actually started this as a practice tool, I suppose. I was learning how to slide properly and making it sound melodic. Somehow I managed to do this. So let's just break down every single thing that's going on and then pass it to Kerby. So as per usual, I'm gonna use the classic Gunsoww kick, aka the Ginson kick. You know, it's really distorted. It also has a no zone imager on it. I don't know if it still has it in the final version. I don't think so. But it's, you know, unnecessarily distorted. And then the snares, of course. Generic snares, you know, like punchy snares. Nothing special. And then the hi-hats. I wanted something bouncy, and having one hi-hat made unique with the velocity turned down made it sound like it was being played by a human, kind of, because of the velocity change. I don't know, it's such a nice thing to do with hi-hats. Then for the open hats, I didn't actually use a crash, so can you forget about this? But forget about everything. I know y'all came here for the 808s. And I shall deliver. And I actually showed them in the last video, but let's actually break them down. The overly melodic 808s, as I said, came out of me trying to learn how to properly slide. So I was just putting random notes until it actually started to sound good. I tried to follow a melodic rhythm, kind of, and yeah, this is how the raw 808s sound like. But they sound kind of weird, so the thing that actually makes these 808s good is not even an EQ, it's a kickstart, which is a sidechaining plugin. So if you throw that in, they're gonna sound like this. It sounds like they're breathing, and it's a really nice touch up. It sounds like they're actually breathing, so you know, it sounds more nicer, I suppose. And then the ozone imager, which once again makes them stereo. This is how the Barbed Wire 808s came into fruition, really, honestly, out of stupid luck, honestly. Okay, so while editing the video, I completely forgot to talk about these EQ bands, you know, these ones. And not only that I use EQ bands, but I also use a halftime plugin. So let's just break it down real quick. If you look at this specific part of the mixer, while playing this part, I'm basically creating a high pass to low pass to normal filter in like a second by automating the first EQ band. And to also add to the gritty sound, as I said, I added a halftime. Without it, it would sound like this. You know, not as cool. A simple half step, 2x, halftime, you know what I mean. And yeah, that's how I made these transitions, kind of. But this is not the final track, as you may know, so I'm gonna pass this to Kerby and he shall enlighten you guys on how he did it.
Hello guys, my name is Kerby, or cvrbi, or whatever you wanna call me, and today I'm gonna go over and break down my collab beat with Gunsoww. Okay, let's jump right into it. I'm not gonna explain the small and unimportant parts like the snares. Look guys, there are 3 snares one over each other. Lol. Cool beat, make sound. Now I'm gonna go over the essentials and the more complex parts. This is the main melody. Over which I added some effects like FabFilter Pro Reverb. This is how it sounds with. This is without. Next up is the delay. And finally an EQ, where I cut out the low end and I boosted a little bit of the treble, and it sounds like this. So now let's go to the second melody, which sounds like this. Over which I added again some effects, like parametric EQ2, where I cut out the low end, boosted a little bit of the mids and the treble. And finally added a reverb again. Okay, now let's get to the fun part, the big 808, which sounds a little bit like this with all the effects on. Yes, very distorted. Now let's get into the effects. Oh boy, we have very many effects. First of all, I added an ozone imager, which by the way is a free plugin, that makes the 808 wider, and it sounds a little bit like this. After that, I added two EQs. One takes out the unhearable frequencies, one of them boosts the bass and lowers the mid frequencies, and it sounds like this. Very deep and distorted, very nice. After that, I added a compressor and I raised the gain by 3 decibels, almost. After that, I added another EQ, in which I raised the high, mid and the treble. After that, I added a Fab Filter Timeless 2, which to be honest, I forgot what it actually does, but from what I can hear, it distorts the 808 a little bit, and it also boosts the loudness. It also makes it a little bit wider, and here comes the fun part. So I added a Fab Filter Saturn, where I used the Screaming Amp preset, the gain is 50%, and raised the level by 15 decibels, and with it on, it sounds like this. As you can hear, this makes the biggest difference out of all of the plugins I used. After that, we have a gross bit, which sidechains the 808 to itself. It gives it more bounce, so it sounds like this. And after that, I added an EQ, in which I boosted the bass and sub to make the distorted guitar sound more like an 808 instead of a distorted guitar. Very nice. So, in the beginning of the song, I added pitch automation of the master pitch, and I raised it from 39% to 50%, which is the normal value. And I also added a Fab Filter Pro reverb. It makes the transition from the first 2 bars of the song to the next 2 bars a little bit smoother. And also I added a low filter with the PC low pass preset. From the intro, it goes into the big drop, boom boom. I will play it, but my PC will lag the fuck out, so no. And after the 808 stops, begins the res part, the breakdown. The res pattern alone is basically this. The effects I used on it are an EQ, in which I lower the low mid and high mid frequencies, a reverb with 0 decay, it gives it a richer sound, and a fruity distort. After the breakdown comes the transition to the second drop, in which I lowered the master pitch from 50% to 39%, and it makes the drop have a unique sound, I could say. It makes it sound like it's a different song, it's not the same. And the last part I want to talk about is this slide right here. So, what's so special about it? I did an automation of a reverb, make it sound like it's going in a distance and coming back, and I just changed it a little bit from the basic first slide of the pattern. Now it sounds like this. And without the reverb, it sounds something like this. Okay, that's about it with this breakdown. If you want more, hit like, subscribe, and don't forget to add this video clip to video clip. And also don't forget to add this video to favorites. Yes, they still exist. Okay, bye now.
Huge shout out to Kerby for being in this video. Please go follow him on SoundCloud, on Instagram, Twitter, whatever he's using. You have all of his links in the description. But yeah, before I go, I want to say that all of my drum kits are 50% off. You have the link in the description. But that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.